Sandra Bullock herself called me and told me that everyone's trying to monetize their collection. No, seriously. So it's about 12:30 in the morning. The day Colect-A-Con starts. We are standing out in the middle, like where is this? In front of the Hyatt Hotel. We're not even at our hotel, on the side of the street, and we just decided, hey, we're just gonna talk TCGs for a while. And after about talking for what, an hour, we said, hey, let's hit the record button. People try to let the hobby fund the hobby. You feel like you are actually paying for your hobby with the hobby. Indirectly, I do feel like I am, in a sense that's not so conventional. Most people are buying cards, evaluating if they're gradable, and either selling them or grading them, and then selling them to then profit on those cards and then buy whatever their next grail is. Everyone always has a new grail. It only works if you don't have to sell the whole collection to pay for the collection. Otherwise, you're in this constant revolving door of trying to keep up for, pay for, and keep some product that you love and enjoy. How do you sell a little and pay for a lot? That is a golden question, my friend. And I don't think it's possible unless you're selling your most valuable cards. And you know what's tough? So we just talked about, we have some Black Border Metazoo, some samples, right?
That's all you guys.
Well, okay, so we do. Yeah. You should get some. I don't want to let them go. No. So this is my problem, guys. I don't know if any of you guys are like this out there. Comment below if you relate. I've got a full, complete Crypto Nation first edition set, master set. I could pay for that master set if I just sell probably, I'm gonna say 1 to 2. Let's go with 2 to be safe. I have 4 sample cards. And I could walk away saying that first edition set is paid for. Why have I not pulled the trigger on that? It's like some kind of psychological thing. 20 years ago, it's the year 2000. Base Set Unlimited just came out. All the kids are opening packs and pulling Charizards, and 1 out of every 5 kids that pulled a Charizard probably traded that Charizard that wasn't worth $10,000 at the time. Right. They probably traded that Charizard for a binder full of bulk that they had no idea what was worth. And at the end of the day, a lot of us don't have our Charizards. Is it the fear because we actually have real experiences from back in the day where we knew we had something and then we just didn't recognize its value and we got rid of it? So now I'm not making that mistake twice. I think all of us kind of go through that thought process where you think back to those days where you had your Charizard, whether it was first edition or unlimited, you had your collection of Pokemon cards, and everyone knows what cards they had or about what their favorite ones were. Most people don't have any of that stuff anymore. They gave it away to a family member. They gave it away to a neighbor. They threw it away. Their mom got rid of it when they went to college. I think a lot of us right now who are getting into MetaZoo are realizing that, I don't want to say that this is a second chance, but when you have a card that has a population of less than 100 print copies, that really says something. In the Magic world, I'm partial to like the Black Lotus history and lore, and I never had a Lotus when I was a kid. I could only imagine if there's any of you guys out there who had a Lotus. I have a buddy who bought a Lotus for 300 bucks. I don't know how long ago it was. He bought a legit, it was like an unlimited, you know, it's not an alpha beta. Okay. But I know he was in talks with, well, I'm not gonna say the name, a big YouTube channel who offered him like $1 for this card. Wow. And it might have been like, he might have had a couple other like add-ins, like it might not have just been that card, but this is the major bulk of the card. And God, the person who sold that to him for $300. You know, when I first got into Pokemon, my dad got me into it. It's when I was really young, you know, you're losing teeth, you got the Tooth Fairy. Yeah. Some kids wake up to $1 under the pillow. I would typically wake up to a pack of base set Pokemon cards because my dad worked right next to a TCG shop. When I was really young, I would open up these cards. You know, he'd come home from work with a pack. I'd get one from the Tooth Fairy. So that's how I was introduced to Pokemon. And from there, you know, you get the binder, you start filling it in.
you start to realize that there's an order for the cards. So you're ordering them and you're filling in the empty slot. You can easily become a collector in that sense. And then you fast forward 20 years later and you realize, like, I've got adult money now. I lost all my Pokemon cards and I still want more Pokemon cards. Just start buying and collecting.
I've heard we have way more Pokemon collectors and investors than we have players.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with you don't need to play the game to watch the anime.
Okay.
You don't need to play the game to play the video game. And I think a lot of us were introduced to the video game and the anime first.
MetaZoo's talking about an animated series.
Right, super excited.
The comic book. I love the comic book stuff.
Mike Waddell talked about developing an open world game for MetaZoo.
Yep.
I've never been more excited about any news besides that. Do you find that people think differently or maybe even judge based on the addition of your deck?
You know, that's like based on Unlimited back in the day. You know, I hear a lot of, you know, like very early collectors say, oh, everybody played with their Unlimited sets, but kept their first edition Shadowless, first edition Jungle, Fossil, whatever, pristine in a binder and a sleeve and a top loader, whatever. And, you know, I consider that the equivalent of second edition MetaZoo.
Yeah.
But I do think there's that group of collectors, and such as myself, yourself obviously, and McGregor here, that we want first edition, and if first edition requires a premium price, I'll pay it to get first edition. I do think there's a lot of value behind having a first edition card.
And we could be wrong, right? Like, we could find out that second edition has the same effect as like beta, magic, or unlimited, where it's just, I know it's second edition, but in 20 years, a second edition box could be $2,000-$3,000 when a first edition box is $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000. And we might be like, shit, man, we could have been buying them for 83 bucks a box. If you guys have not already checked out their channels, their TikToks, one more time, what are your socials so everybody can take a look?
Macgregss, MACGREGSS. TikTok and Instagram, and YouTube with 1 S.
TeddyCollects. Search me anywhere. You'll find me.
Thank you guys. That was so awesome.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
It was great meeting you.
Yeah, you
See you
too.
tomorrow.
Take it easy, everybody. I'll see you guys in the next one.
See you guys.
Peace.
Subscribe.
Shout out to Ted's Basement.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys.